What is stopping you from doing more ortho as a GP? It's Paul Dr. Nacho with our amazing sponsor, Dr. Attila Nagy, who has an orthodontic training program designed for GPs to help you transform your ability, your aptitude, but more your attitude towards ortho. So Attila, thanks for supporting us. Before we dive into your program, why do you think a lot of GPs don't do ortho?
Hi, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
Nice to see you guys. So I think the biggest barrier is really training. I think we're probably on the same page with, dental schools focus on basic dentistry, and some of them not even really great at that. So I think the ortho training is really lacking in dental school, but I think it's also lacking like in continuing educational courses. Most of the ortho courses are either sponsored by a company that promote mainly their products versus teaching basic orthodontics. I think there's just very few good courses that teach basic fundamental orthodontic knowledge where you could use to treat patients basically.
I
think
agree
most
with you. I mean, I went to
yeah,
school and I graduated in 2002, and they made ortho very mysterious, right? It just was,
right.
we had some wire bending stuff back in 2002. Clear aligners weren't really a thing. So you demystify this with your training. You're a Nacho sponsor. People can get an amazing deal. You're lucky to know me, Nacho community, like my grandmother would say, because of me, you save over $3,000 on this training program. Check it out in the links. Text NAGY to 215-543-6454. But tell us about this training program. Someone's watching right now. They're saying, I want to do ortho. How long is it? What's the commitment? Is it online? Give us those details.
Oh yeah. So the benefit is basically what I always tell, that a lot of GP practices have about the same amount of orthodontics in production in their practice as the total production they're doing without ortho. So you have $1 million practice, there's about $1 million of ortho in the practice or up to it. And one of the things that we focus on is really comprehensive orthodontics. So that just means if you do our course, you should be able to treat about 90% of the patients that come to your practice. Our biggest emphasis is really braces, but we also teach aligners. So with our program, you'll be able to treat basically any patients that come through your doors, extractions, non-extractions, expansions. Phase one, which is the smaller kids around 8, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. And phase two, so we teach braces, aligners, and then we also teach, because with orthodontics, it really goes well with sleep apnea appliances.
Oh, gotcha.
So we teach sleep apnea very heavily, and then we also teach very heavily TMD treatment for patients with temporomandibular disorders, and also some myofunctional therapy. So that's
Awesome.
all included in the ortho program,
A full
mainly.
Nacho plate of training. You should call it that. It's a full
Yeah,
Nacho
for
plate
nacho plate of
of
training, right?
training, all the toppings. Now, I work with dentists daily. I don't want to brag in this moment, Attila, but I did not make it in the NBA to play professional basketball, okay? But I do believe that this person, I talk to more dentists than any dentist on earth, and I'll explain why. I have 53,000 people on Facebook, Instagram. I teach dentists. I own practices. And one of the things that dentists talk to me about is they may have the money for CE, okay? It might not be a money thing. They could write a check or pay by a credit card $13,000 tomorrow, but their spouse says, what you're going to learn after hours, you're going to, you can't go to, travel to courses. So take away the money part for a second. Tell me about the time commitment for your orthodontic academy.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think that's the biggest barrier, because as you know, when we used to do a lot of live courses, there was a big barrier of like flying to places. And I
Yeah.
used to teach a lot of live courses, and you have to close the office and fly. So we actually try to bridge all that problem. So our entire program is online. So everything is online on demand. Basically, the courses are recorded and they go in order. There are 12 modules. So you just take the courses in order, and you have up to 2 years to complete the program. Some doctors fly through it and they do it like in a year or even 9 months. A lot of doctors take about a year, but you have up to 2 years. And we're also very understanding. If life things happens, we can extend that period. But it takes you have about 2 years to complete it. But everything is online on demand. So a lot of doctors just watch it on their lunch break or at home. The only live course we have is the hands-on team training. So we also include team training with the course,
Cool.
where twice a year in the spring and in the fall, we teach a live hands-on portion of the mini residency in Columbus, Ohio.
Nice.
Now,
I want to
you
share
can,
something too.
yeah,
This has nothing to do with dentistry, but I went to Columbus and I saw you, I saw my friends. Columbus, blew me away with how great it was. Great restaurants.
Yeah.
I was judging it in my mind, right? I was thinking, oh, I'm going to go to Ohio. It's going to be boring. It's not going to be good. I got taken around by my friends. So Columbus is a cool place. Tag Joanna Scott, Joshua Scott in there. They're
I
they're
know
in
Josh
Columbus.
from Paragon.
Yeah. So awesome. So they come to Columbus for that. So it's a 1.5-year type program, mainly online, but in-person team training. What I want to ask you next, I want to share, I'm talking with Attila Nagy, amazing Nacho sponsor, teaches comprehensive ortho to GPs, unlock more patient-centered care, unlock more production. You help transform smiles with ortho, but you also help transform dentists' lives by learning this. The dentist who says, hey, I am going to embark on this journey and make orthodontics part of what I do, how will that transform their career, how they feel about themselves, how patients like them, and then their profitability?
Yeah, great question. So I think I like to use actually our life as an example. I think there's several ways that I think ortho just completely made me a born again dentist.
I like that.
We used to work about, my wife and I used to work about 6 days a week. We were open even on Saturday, and I think but what happened with ortho, one of the things is, patients don't like to do extractions, they don't like to do root canals, but there's only a couple of things that patients actually love, which is basically whitening, maybe veneers, and ortho. They love ortho and all ages. So I think once we started getting into ortho, a couple of things that happened, and it really transformed our whole practice because of the income it generated, and there's a lot of income growth with ortho. We were able to triple basically our practice and start cutting back from the days. So we went from even working twice a month on Saturdays, we went to 5 days, and then we went to 4 days.
You know what?
And
I want to share something too. I love this story. So you know how they say nothing is 100% in life. Implants aren't 100%. Nothing is 100%. I will tell you something that's 100%. Are you ready?
Yeah.
There's a 100% chance that a dentist that reduces days working never wants to go back to more days, right?
Yeah.
I have never met a dentist who's gone from 5 to 4 and said, oh, I want to go back to 5, 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, right? And I say this in a fun, joking way because dentistry is such an intense, stressful profession. It just is. And when you can help more patients, make the same or more money, and do what you love, that is the thing that helps the dentist inside.
Yeah. Very true. And like I said, and I don't think any dentist will say on their dying bed, oh my gosh, I wish I could have worked 2 more days a week.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey,
I always say dental hours are dog year hours, Attila. And that's why the thing I want to ask you next, we'll talk for a few minutes, is you are a general dentist. So you still do fillings, right?
Right. Exactly.
You still do crowns, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You still may restore implants, right? So
yes.
If I was going to say to you, hey, Attila, you're going to walk into this operatory and you're going to do a procedure for free. Okay. I ain't going to pay you. And there's 4 operatories: class 2 composite, crown on number 15, or an orthodontic appointment. Tell me which one you're picking.
Oh yeah. Like our schedule in the evening, we do ortho mainly.
And why
I would
is
do ortho for sure.
Why is it a different version of stress? I don't want any orthodontist to throw tomatoes at this Zoom. So I'm not saying, I just took my daughter to an amazing orthodontist and she's fantastic. So I totally see that orthodontics can create stress, but I notice she doesn't pick up a syringe to make someone numb.
Yeah.
She doesn't pick up a handpiece. There's a lot of talking. There's a lot of bonding with the patient. So just for, this kind of, we've talked about how it helps more patients. We've talked about increased profitability, but just from your dental stress level, tell me about why you're walking into that ortho appointment instead of the class 2.
Well, I think 99% of orthodontic patients just love what they're going through and the changes. I mean, we have patients up to age 70. I think our oldest patient was 74 who got braces, and they just love it. The only thing they complain about is a single thing is, I wish I would have done this 40 years ago. That's the only complaint. So I think it's more of a stress relief to me to do ortho than a stressful thing, because it's mainly done through assistance, really. The hard part with ortho is the treatment planning and diagnosing. And then like the day-to-day work of it is 80% of it is done through your assistants. So like, even if you go to an orthodontist practice, they're not doing all the little adjustments. It's mainly the staff's doing it. So ortho is really kind of like the only thing besides hygiene that the owner of the practice doesn't have to be like 100% hands-on involved 100% of the time. And I think that's why it's such a huge revolution for GPs that I think a lot of them don't even realize. Besides hygiene, ortho is the only thing where they can generate profit, have a relaxing, positive experience, and they don't have to be like 100% hands-on 100% of the time.
And also, I want to share with you, and these are just facts. Dentists get very upset with these facts that I share. But for people who go to the dentist, okay, they need fewer fillings over time. For people who go to the dentist, they need fewer crowns over time. So if you're looking to fill in production in a patient-centered way, it doesn't matter if it's 2053 or 1983, the need for orthodontics is actually just expanding. So it's going the opposite way than our traditional restorative dentistry, because we did it, Attila. Young people know how to take care of their teeth. We've done it. We've solved it. And then for every dentist who says, oh, but I saw one patient who needed 20 fillings, it's still very rare, right? As we move through it, people my age or younger in my practice have very few dental needs.
Exactly.
Then I have restorative needs. Older patients have implants, but anyone, that's great, 24 to 74. So I am so glad to have you as a sponsor. People can text NAGY to 215-543-6454. Any final words for our audience here? Anything you want to inspire them with? Your favorite restaurant in Columbus, Ohio? Let us know.
Yeah, no, I'm just really excited for GPs to take this on, because I think they can really build positivity in their practices and do something that really builds confidence for not just the patient but the staff too, and then for the doctor to work less, make more, and create a lot of happy smiles and happy patients. And yeah, I love the Pearl restaurant. It's in Dublin. That's one of my
I like that.
restaurants.
Well, you added that in too. Well, thanks so much. Stick around with me, Dental Nachos crew. Check out the NAGY Orthodontic Academy. You can text NAGY to 215-543-6454 for the best nacho deal possible. Thanks, Attila.
Thanks for having us.